What if I told you that the person you think you are is only half of the story? Deep within you lies a part of yourself you've avoided, ignored, or repressed, yet this hidden part could be the key to unlocking your fullest potential. Welcome to the world of Carl Jung's Shadow Theory. The shadow is a term coined by Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung to describe the unconscious part of the psyche that contains repressed weaknesses, desires, and instincts. Jung believed that by acknowledging and integrating the shadow, individuals could tap into a deeper understanding of themselves, unlocking transformative growth. The shadow is not inherently negative. It represents the aspects of ourselves we often hide due to social norms, fear, or judgment. How much of your true self do you think remains hidden from your conscious awareness? Jung's shadow theory didn't emerge from a vacuum. It was the result of his break from Sigmund Freud and his exploration of the unconscious mind. As Jung delved into his own inner world, he realized that many of his personal struggles stemmed from ignoring his darker traits, those qualities society deems undesirable. He believed that the shadow encompasses both the rejected aspects of our psyche and the parts that society doesn't allow us to express freely. What aspects of yourself have you repressed to fit societal expectations? Before delving deeper into the shadow, it's crucial to understand Jung's view of the human psyche. He posited that the mind is divided into three main components: the ego, the conscious self, the personal unconscious, containing forgotten memories and repressed experiences, and the collective unconscious, a shared reservoir of human experiences and archetypes. Jung explained that the shadow often clashes with the persona, the outward identity we present to the world. The persona is like a mask, shaped by societal expectations, roles, and our desire to fit in. While the persona can serve us well in social interactions, it can also trap us in a false sense of self, obscuring the darker, more authentic aspects of our being. Jung believed that dreams offer a direct route to understanding the shadow. Through dream analysis, we can encounter aspects of our unconscious selves, symbols, figures, or scenarios that represent our repressed thoughts or emotions. When we recognize these figures in dreams, we begin to understand what parts of ourselves we've been avoiding. What recurring symbols or themes appear in your dreams that might point to hidden aspects of your psyche? One of the most profound manifestations of the shadow occurs in our relationships. Often, we project our own shadow traits onto others, blaming them for qualities we refuse to acknowledge within ourselves. This can lead to conflict, judgment, or misunderstandings. By recognizing these projections, we can start the process of integrating the shadow. In your relationships, who do you tend to blame for traits or behaviors you dislike? What might this reveal about your own shadow? Shadow integration is the process of embracing and accepting the darker aspects of ourselves, rather than rejecting or denying them. Jung believed that true personal growth and individuation, the process of becoming your authentic self, could only occur when you confront and integrate your shadow. This process requires vulnerability and courage, but leads to a deeper understanding of who you truly are. What is one aspect of yourself you've been avoiding or denying, and how might acknowledging it lead to growth? Shadow work involves the deliberate effort to uncover and confront the hidden parts of your psyche. While this process can be uncomfortable, the rewards are immense. By embracing the shadow, you can free yourself from old patterns, fears, and limitations, creating space for growth, creativity, and authenticity. Creativity thrives when we tap into the unconscious mind, and the shadow is a rich source of inspiration. Many artists, writers, and innovators have found that by confronting their own shadow, they unlock new creative potential. Jung himself acknowledged that the creative process often involves giving voice to the unconscious mind, allowing the shadow to emerge in artistic expression. Jung's theory of the shadow is deeply intertwined with his concept of the hero's journey. In every myth, the hero must confront and overcome their own darkness, whether through literal battles or inner struggles. The confrontation with the shadow represents the hero's growth and transformation, a universal theme seen across cultures. The shadow isn't just about the negative aspects of the self. It also includes the qualities that society deems morally ambiguous. By recognizing the complexity of human nature and accepting that all people have light and dark within them, we can move towards a more nuanced understanding of morality. How do you define morality, and how might your own shadow challenge your sense of right and wrong? Jung's concept of the collective unconscious posits that certain symbols, archetypes, and experiences are shared across humanity. The shadow, as part of this collective, can help us understand universal human struggles. By connecting with the shadow, we can engage with these archetypes in a way that enriches our understanding of both ourselves and others. Ignoring the shadow can contribute to mental health issues such as anxiety, depression, and stress. Jung argued that repressed emotions and unresolved conflicts often manifest in physical or psychological symptoms. Confronting the shadow is not only a path to self-realization, but also a way to heal emotional wounds and find peace. Self-acceptance is a key outcome of shadow integration. When you accept all parts of yourself, both the light and the dark, you move toward a state of wholeness. This doesn't mean condoning harmful behaviors, but rather acknowledging that imperfection is a natural part of the human experience. What would it take for you to truly accept yourself, including your flaws and imperfections? For many, the integration of the shadow is a deeply spiritual process. Confronting our darker traits often forces us to question our beliefs, values, and spiritual practices. By embracing the shadow, we can cultivate a deeper sense of spiritual maturity and connection to something greater than ourselves.